You're at war with yourself, and deep down, you already know it. Because there is a life you are living, and there is a life in you that still feels true. Not fantasy, not ego, not some fake internet version of success. A real version of you, a version that feels honest, a version that feels like the man you were supposed to become. Welcome to Exhausted Dad Show, documentaries for men running on empty who still want to become better men. Real research, real perspective, one thing to do today or tomorrow. Tonight, you're at war with yourself. Let's say it plainly. This war is not just about discipline, it is about division. Part of you knows what is true, and another part of you has learned how to survive by wearing what other people handed you. The family script, the realistic script, the safe script. The script that says, don't be too much, don't reach too high, be practical, be who we already understand. And over time, if you listen to that long enough, you stop living by your own bar. You start living by theirs. And that is where the split begins. Psychologist E. Torrey Higgins built one of the clearest explanations for this. It's called self-discrepancy theory. APA defines self-discrepancy as an incongruity between different aspects of your self-concept, especially between your actual self and either your ideal self or your ought self. In normal language, part of your pain comes from the gap between the man you are living as and the man you feel is true. That gap hurts, and if you do not name it correctly, you'll think the problem is laziness, or bad luck, or that you are just ungrateful. But sometimes the real problem is simpler. You are living too far away from yourself. That is the war. And it gets heavier when other people have been allowed to set your bar for too long. When that happens, you can still function. You can still work. You can still provide. You can still smile in photos. But inside, something starts to ache, because the real you keeps pressing against the mask. Richard Ryan's work on authenticity helps here. He describes authenticity in terms of autonomy, congruence, and genuineness. So when your life is built around pressure, performance, and somebody else's expectations, the issue is not just stress. The issue is that your life stops feeling like it belongs to you, and men can carry that for a while, but not forever. Because eventually the mask gets too heavy. And when it gets too heavy, it does not usually slip in a calm, noble way. It slips as resentment, as anger, as numbness, as exhaustion, as checking out. That is part of how exhausted dads get made. Not just by work, not just by bills, but by living divided for too long. There is another name you need here, Daphne Oyserman. Her identity-based motivation theory says people are more ready to act when behavior feels congruent with identity. That matters because if your daily life keeps asking you to be a man you do not actually believe in, the strain will keep showing up somewhere. And if your actions start matching the man you know is true, movement gets cleaner. Not easier, cleaner. That is why it is so important to win this war, because if you do not win it, you may still look functional on the outside, while feeling imprisoned on the inside. You wake up every day in a life that works on paper, but feels wrong in your chest. And after enough years, that kind of life creates bitterness, because a man can only live beneath his own truth for so long before he starts turning on himself. The Bible has language for this too. Romans 12 says not to be conformed to the pattern around you, but to be transformed by the renewing of your mind. And Galatians talks about an inner conflict, a struggle between opposing drives inside a person. That is not fake. That is ancient language for a real war. So no, this feeling is not random, and it is not weakness. It is the pain of misalignment. Now, here is the important part. You do not win this war tonight by reinventing your whole life. You win it by refusing to help the false version of you one more time before sleep. That is tonight's move. Before bed, ask one question. What is one thing the real me would do tonight that the masked version of me keeps avoiding? Not tomorrow, tonight. Because behavior matters. APA's entry on self-perception theory, originally proposed by Daryl Bem, explains that people partly infer their attitudes from their own past behavior. In plain language, what you repeatedly do teaches you who you are. So if you act like the masked version of you again tonight, you feed that version. And if you act in alignment with the real you tonight, you feed him instead. That one move may not finish the war, but it proves which side you are choosing. Maybe that move is telling the truth. Maybe it is turning something off. Maybe it is praying. Maybe it is sending the email. Maybe it is opening the document. Maybe it is going to sleep when the false version of you wants to numb out. Whatever it is, make it real. Because the war gets won in votes. And tonight, before sleep, you still get a vote. So hear this clearly. You are not crazy. You are not broken. And if you want your life back, you have to stop helping the version of you that was never really you. You're at war with yourself. It's not a battle with your boss or your bank account. It's the gap between the man you are tonight and the man you were created to be. The mask is getting too heavy. You've spent the day performing, meeting expectations, and keeping it all together. But the stillness of the night reveals the fatigue you can't outrun. You are living divided. In the office, you're the worker. At home, you're the dad and the husband. But somewhere in the commute, the real you got lost in the shuffle of roles. You are living too far away from yourself. This internal war isn't one with grand gestures. It's one in the small, quiet votes you cast for your true identity when no one is watching. Tonight, you still get a vote. One thing to do today or tomorrow. One vote. Ask yourself, what is one thing the real me would do tonight that the masked version of me keeps avoiding? Then do it before bed. Reclaim that territory. End the day as the man you were meant to be. Subscribe to Exhausted Dad Show for more real research, real perspective, and one thing to do today or tomorrow.